Okay, this is insane. The S&P 500 is down 3% right now, and the whole stock market is collapsing. Today I'm going to break down everything that's going on, what you could expect for the future, and I'm going to try to do so in simple terms, so even if you're a newer investor or you don't even know what a stock is, stick around. Hopefully you will learn something new today. Okay, so let's just get right into the bulk of things. So today, Trump had his infamous Liberation Day, aka his tariff speech, where he announced all the tariffs that he had planned for other countries. And here they are on your screen right now. You can see on this column right here, we have the tariffs that this country currently charges the US. And on the right, we have what we are going to tariff them. And you might notice a pattern here. We are tariffing half of what they tariff us. And if you're not sure what a tariff is, it's in simple terms, it's just a tax on imported goods. So if it costs 5,000 or not 5,000, let's say $10,000 to ship a car from China to the US, now with 30% tariffs, now it would cost about 13,000. And basically all these countries have these massive tariffs on us, and as Trump has said previously, he thinks that we are getting scammed, and he thinks that we should start getting back at these countries, and this was his plan. And now we're finally putting in tariffs on these other countries, and we are doing exactly half of what they are doing, which is actually very surprising. Everyone thought he was going to do a 1-to-1 match. So for China, he would he would do 67% instead of 34%, but obviously that didn't happen. He ended up going with half, which I don't think anyone expected. So yeah, that was really interesting. But basically this should be good, right? Because everyone was expecting like these huge tariffs, and instead we got less important tariffs. But if you look at the S&P 500 after hours, you will actually see right here that we are down 3.5% right now. And that is just a complete disaster. That is definitely the worst day we've had in a very, very long time, assuming that it holds until tomorrow. As you can see right here, this was 4 p.m. We initially got a nice jump. It was about 1% when Trump started first speaking. I don't know why. It really came out of nowhere. I I don't think it really meant anything. It was just some people getting excited, I guess, for the tariffs. But then once he announced these half tariffs, as we'll call them, we instantly collapsed and we just kept going down and down and down. And at one point, we were down 4%, and it just wasn't looking good at all. And a lot of individual stocks actually have crashed as well, with most of them being down between 5 to 10%, which is just, I mean, really, it's just not great to see because we've already seen such a big sell off in the S&P 500, but not only that, in a lot of the individual stocks too. And the S&P 500 is now back in correction territory, which basically means that it is down 10% from its high. Its high was around 610, and that happened right before Trump went into office. And as soon as Trump went into office, we kind of started crashing, and we've never really recovered since then. And now it seems like with these April 2nd tariffs, we are only going lower. But other than these tariffs, Trump did have like a whole speech, as he usually does, and he didn't really say anything too important. He did mention that in his first term, he had one of the greatest stock markets of any president ever, which is true. And obviously, this year it's not really going in his favor so far, because obviously the S&P is down 10% from its highs, and you never really want to see that. And Trump did say that he believes his second term could be just as good, if not better, in terms of market performance. But he did say that the numbers might not show, and that was kind of confusing. I think he means that the economy could be great, but the stock market will continue going down. I think that's what he was saying. But yeah, I think he's really confident in terms of is him handling the economy, and he's not too sure about the stock market, but obviously Trump does base his popularity, or he bases himself based on the stock market, and if the stock market doesn't do great, then he will usually respond to it. However, this time we got a 10% correction, and the only thing he's really said is that he's not looking at the stock market, aka he doesn't care, which is kind of interesting because I feel like if the stock market recovers, he's obviously going to say it was all him, and he was looking at the stock market. Big surprise. But yeah, I mean, it's just really interesting to see how this plays out because we have one of the most pro business and pro stock market presidents ever, and we're off to one of the worst 3 month stretches from inauguration day, really, in the history of the United States. Now, let's take a look at the stock screener for the day. So, stocks were actually green for the day, for the most part, leading up to the announcements. I'm not sure why. Actually, Tesla was the main winner today, and we'll get to them in just a second. They did have car deliveries today, and yeah, I just quickly do want to mention that all these tech stocks are down between 5 and 10% after hours, like I did mention earlier. And the only reason they're green here is because this is just how they did for the day, and this doesn't include after hours. So obviously, the announcement did happen after 4 p.m., which is when the market closes. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. But let's talk about Tesla now. So Tesla did have their car deliveries, and I forgot the exact number, I'm going to be honest, but it was something like 330,000 cars that they delivered. But the expected number was 390,000, something in that range. So they missed really badly. And initially, it was down 5% in the morning. And everything was looking normal. And honestly, I thought that they should have been down more because, I mean, that miss was, it was just horrendous. Like, there's no better way to put it. There's no excuse for it. And it's really funny that it actually ended up going green during the day, considering it was down 5% in the morning. It's really, I think, just because Tesla is getting super oversold. It's still overvalued on traditional metrics, meaning that the price is higher than its fair price, meaning that there's a lot of speculation involved with the stock, which is true because a lot of people are buying Tesla just because of the idea of self-driving cars and robotics. And yeah, but that could be years away. For now, they're just a car company, and as a car company, they are not doing well, just objectively. Car sales are down in pretty much every country. The only positive news we got from them lately was car sales doing well in China. But yeah, every European country, their sales are declining like crazy, and that's why the stock is down 50% from its highs. And it is down about 6% after hours, so it did actually erase this whole gain that it had today. And Tesla also does have earnings pretty soon. They are going to be kicking off the tech earnings season, which is starting in about 2 weeks. And we will be getting lots of earnings reports from companies like Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, etc. So if you want to keep up with that, then consider subscribing, and you can stay up to date with all the latest updates. And now the final thing that I do want to cover tomorrow, if this red ends up holding, we are going to have an extremely red day. It's going to be one that we haven't seen in a long time. It's definitely going to be the worst day of 2025, assuming these prices stay. Really, the best way to think of a day like tomorrow would be like a Black Friday sale. And everything's on discounts. I mean, all these great companies are going to be down 5-10% for really not much reason. These tariffs are not that scary in my opinion. The only problem is that like nobody expected them, and obviously knowing Trump, he could change them overnight basically. But other than that uncertainty, like if he just sticks with these half tariffs, I think we'll be just fine. I actually think this could even be better than the full tariffs, because full tariffs would possibly cause some retaliation from other countries. But like this, I think we're not only keeping it fair and square, but we're actually being nice, as Trump put it himself. So tomorrow, go out there, have some fun shopping. As long as you think that the stock market isn't going to zero, then enjoy your discounts while you still have them, because stock market recoveries could be really quick, and you wouldn't want to miss on such an epic opportunity to get the stocks you love at a cheap price. But yeah, that's probably going to do it. I didn't get to cover absolutely everything, and I will make sure to cover that tomorrow when the red actually hits. For now, it's just after hours, so I don't want to, assume that tomorrow's just going to be a complete bloodbath. I want to see it first. So yeah, I mean, we'll just see what happens, and hopefully we do get some recovery, because S&P down 3% wouldn't be fun at all. But yeah, I mean, no matter the outcome, I'll be back here covering the stock market tomorrow in simple terms, so that hopefully everyone can understand. And that's going to do for today. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you tomorrow.